Winter is almost here, boys, which means bulking season. But most guys think bulking is about getting huge and getting fat at the same time. But here's the truth. You can actually put on some serious size without blowing up your freaking waistline. It's not like an extreme diet trick mixed with like a training principle, mixed with trend, clan, anavar approach. It's about doing the basics, consistent, and measuring your progress over time and learning how to adapt, which I'm going to talk about in this video. If you ever bulked before and like you're feeling strong in the gym, but then you look in the mirror and you're like, oh my Lord, bro. Like maybe you got a bit of a, chubby swole going on. You look in the mirror like, oh my God, like my belly looks like a pillow. I've kind of been there before, so I feel you. So the real question is, how can you actually put on some lean tissue this fall and this winter without, falling off track and looking sloppy by the end of it? Because here's the thing, if you bulk the wrong way, you're going to spend more than half your year next year when summer comes around, you're trying to get lean, like really chipping off that fat, and it's going to just be a bitch. Think of your growth or off season like building a house. You're doing it brick by brick. You're not just throwing a bunch of stuff in, piling it all up, and then hoping for things to like build and get bigger. You need to do it strategically. Before I dive into these handy and dandy tips, I want to just quickly talk about the word bulk. Okay? I want you to switch this perspective from bulk to growth phase instead of a bulking phase. The reason why is, for me personally, I think of bulk as like dirty, tired, lethargic, and just not great. I mean, eating McDonald's in the drive-thru tastes good in the moment, then I'm gonna feel like crap. That's how it reminds me of like a bulking. The word bulking. It's like I'm not taking my training as seriously, my sleep and my recovery, or my food choices, my habits, because I'm just trying to put on some size, man. I can have some extra food here because I'm bulking, bro. I want you to think of it as growth. Growth meaning I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to improve. I'm trying to focus on my performance and advance my physique, my mindset, my habits, and really put on some lean muscle tissue rather than just putting on a little bit of muscle and getting too fat, okay? I have a photo of Tyler. This is a guy I've worked with for almost 2.5 years. This is his before and after of 2 years, but he's put on around, I think, 13 to 15 pounds of lean muscle tissue naturally. And so, I'm good at doing it myself. I'm good at helping other guys do it as well. So, and also quick note is putting on lean muscle without fat is hard, just like losing fat can be easy, but losing fat and maintaining muscle in a fat loss phase when you're cutting can be very difficult. So in those times when you're thinking, oh man, getting lean is like hard because I crave foods and I just want to eat foods, like, bro, switch it around and try to eat a lot of food. It's very difficult. So let me see if I can help you out here in this video. Let's dive into it. I'm going to try to keep these points very fast and quick to the point and valuable, which is good. If you find it valuable, subscribe to the channel because I can be your new favorite ginger, workout buddy. So number one, what body fat percentage should you start from? Now, I don't think there's a golden area of like, oh, if you're 13.5% body fat, you're at the perfect range. However, keep in mind, the higher percentage of your body fat, you're probably going to lose the lines, your definition. You're going to look in the mirror. You're going to be like, oh my God, I'm looking like a soft, watery hippo. And I've been there before, like I was saying at the beginning of the video. So ideally, I would say anywhere from 10 golden rule, 10% body fat, or that golden area, to 15% body fat, okay? Remember, everybody stores body fat differently. The guys that store it in their glutes and hammies, nice. Those are amazing genetics. However, 10 to 15% is probably a good range. So quick note, if you've ever thought, should I bulk or should I cut? Just remember that I think a lot of the guys that I've worked with is like, dude, I need the bulk. And it's like, well, you are pretty high in body fat percentage. If you want to look bigger, just get leaner first, and then you get a really good pump, and you're going to actually look like bigger than you were before, because before you were softer, you didn't have a lot of definition. But I would start anywhere around there, okay? Number two, this is a big one. In order to put on some lean muscle tissue, to put on some size, take your weekly average and weight. So weigh in every single day. I was at the gym. I was talking to a younger guy. And I was like, he was telling me he's bulking. I was like, you're in a growth phase. And he's like, yeah. And I said, are you weighing in every single day? He goes, no. And I was like, you should. And he goes, well, why? Because sodium, fiber, water, carbs come into play, and it's going to fluctuate your weight quite a bit. So on a Thursday night when you're feeling like a, I don't know, a spaghetti meatball sandwich maybe that comes to my mind right now, higher in carbs and sodium, you eat it a little bit later, you get up on Friday morning, you're like, oh my God, dude, I'm not 3 pounds, I'm gaining weight. No. It's probably just the carbs, the sodium, everything that's coming into play. So take your weekly average weight. It's going to really help you. And then you're going to be able to determine, do I increase my calories to put on more size, and go from there, okay? Number 3, how much weight should you gain? Beginner versus advanced versus intermediate. Now, take this with a grain of salt because everyone's going to say this a little bit differently. These are just ballpark rough estimates. However, it's good to have, a little bit of a goal in mind. But first, how do we define beginner, intermediate, and advanced? I would say personally, beginner is if you're someone that has been training in the gym consistently and focused on your nutrition, but you're not over 2 years of that consistent work, you're still beginner. Intermediate, maybe 3 to 5 years, advanced 5 years plus of like consistent work, okay? So I would say if you're a beginner, 1 to 1.5% of your total body weight per month. So for example, 180 pounds, 1% or around there would be around 1.8 pounds per month. Advanced, 0.25 to 0.5% of your body weight per month. So I know I've been training for a long time. I put on maybe like 2 pounds of lean. Actually, since I started competing, guys, I think I put on like 4 pounds. That was 5 years ago. Like 4 pounds of lean muscle naturally. And I'm like, woohoo, that's sick, bro. But it's nice. But when you're a beginner, it's like, bro, maximize everything you can because you can grow very quickly. Okay. Number 4. Okay, macronutrients, protein, carbs, fat. Don't shy away from carbs and carb cycles. Before I jump into this, I want to say one thing. If you're trying to put on lean muscle tissue without getting too fat, what gets measured gets managed. So if you're not tracking your foods and you're just like, well, dude, I'm just bulking, I'm just trying to eat more food, you're probably going to get too fat because you're overeating or you're not eating enough and you just don't know where to go, right? You don't need to track your food forever. However, if you got a specific goal with either losing fat or in this video, we're talking about building muscle, track your progressions, even in your training as well. You don't need to do it forever, but it's going to help you out. So protein, talk about the macros first. Keep it at the golden rule, 1 gram per body pound or a little bit more. Fats, I'll dive into fats first. Fats, 0.3 to 0.5 grams per body pound. I'll say that right now. If you want more fats, you can. It's going to help with your hormones and keep those in check. But the big one is carbs, okay? Don't shy away from carbs when you're trying to put on muscle. Because when you're eating carbohydrates, it's going to raise insulin, okay? So insulin is a hormone and it's technically anabolic. So insulin doesn't create muscle, but it is anti-catabolic, which means it prevents muscle from breaking down. You're eating some carbohydrates, your insulin goes up, and you're eating some protein and a good post-workout meal. It's going to help drive amino acids, which is the building blocks of protein to help you grow, recover, and repair into your muscle cells, okay? So I just want you to remember, like, protein equals repair and carbs equals performance and recovery. So it's like, again, when you're eating carbohydrates, your body is going to store it as a form of glycogen, which is inside like your muscles. You're going to feel inflated. When you eat carbs, you have something good. You're like, oh, dude, I can get a sick pump on. You want to use carbs, okay? You want to utilize carbohydrates in order to grow. Now, the thing is you don't want to be, abusing carbs. You don't want to be eating the croissants and the Pop-Tarts and all that good shit, the cookies, the donuts all the time because it's just carbs. We'll get into dirty bulking and all that stuff. You want to use that every now and then, but you should still be eating food that's going to have a good quality of micronutrients. For example, carbs, like you can have some fruits, you can have some starchy carbohydrates, you could have some oatmeal with fiber, you could have rice, potatoes, you could have some pasta. You're going to utilize carbohydrates. For example, a lot of the guys that I work with, if I try to get them to eat a lot of oatmeal, they're going to be like, oh, dude, like I'm very, very full. So I'm going to try to add in some oatmeal and then maybe 2 Rice Krispies. But we're not abusing the Rice Krispies. We're not going to have like 6 because we can, because we're bulking. We're just going to add up the calories in. It's a little bit tasty. It's a treat. I'm going to add that in, but we're not going to abuse it. Most of the time, we're eating really healthy, good carbohydrates. We're going to stay away from the really bad ultra processed stuff, but don't shy away from carbs. It's going to help you grow. Also, on that note, carb cycles. If you are not training one day, try dropping your carbohydrates down, because you don't need the carbs. You don't need it for performance and recovery for the day. So it's going to pretty much help you from spilling over or getting too fat. It just depends. If you're having a hard time putting on a lot of weight, then maybe you should keep your carbs consistently. If you're getting a little bit too chubby, then do some carb cycle. 5, cheat meals, clean eating versus dirty bulking. So cheat meals, you want to use it to your advantage. I did all the time when I was younger, but then again, I was younger. Now I'm 30. So use it to your advantage. You don't want to abuse it. Clean eating, when you're eating very whole, nutritious, good food, you're going to find yourself to be pretty satiated. So that's why it's hard to eat a lot of clean food. So what I would do is I would probably mix in like 2 to 3 meals per week that are not overdoing it, but try to get in maybe, try to get in a donut here and there, or a healthier version if you can, or try to get some extra sauces in. Try to get those calories in that you're consuming, but don't overdo it. Like, you don't need to have the 6 McDoubles and fries, because again, you're bulking and you're trying to put on muscle. You got to use it to your advantage. And you're going to notice when you're eating clean food, your body's going to adapt. You're going to be able to build up the calories. And it can be hard, but you're going to have better digestion, better just gut health, energy. You're going to look at food as something that's fueling your body. It's like a Ferrari, bro. Like, it's like, this is amazing. I want to eat this food because it helps me feel good. When you eat the bad food, too much of it, man, you're just going to feel like crap. Like, like you're going to feel just lethargic, slow. Your training is not going to be as good. Get the shits, maybe not even shit, right? So you want to balance it, but balance more on the clean eating side, and then have some, dirty bulking here and there, okay? And cheat meals, obviously. So supplements, number 6 is, remember, supplements are there to help you, not to solve your muscle gaining problems that you're having. Like, I can't gain muscle. You're just going to take supplements and hopefully put on lean muscle tissue? Probably not, but they're there to support you. So some things I would say first off is supplements to help with digestion. So I take my morning greens from Believe to get in the vitamins, the minerals, because maybe I'm not eating as many veggies, because veggies can be, it depends on the type of fiber. If you're looking at insoluble fiber or soluble fiber, when you're cooking them, it's going to be soluble fiber. But eating lots of vegetables is hard, especially if you're trying to get in more calories. So I'm going to get something to help with my gut health, get in my vitamins, my minerals. EAs, essential amino acids. So again, amino acids are the building blocks of protein, help you grow, recover, repair. I drink pretty much 2 scoops of those a day. I just feel better, man. When I don't drink them as much, maybe I feel a little bit more sore for a few more days. You can get amino acids from, again, lean protein sources, but I drink it. It's nice, and I use those products all the time. But again, I'm not abusing supplements. GDA, which is a glucose disposal agent. Now, you can take this, and pretty much it's going to enhance the body's ability to move glucose from the bloodstream into the muscle cells. So this can be quite useful if you're having a hard time, like really getting down food and a lot of carbohydrate. You can use this, the GDA. I haven't used this in a long time. I recommend it every now and then with my clients that I train, but typically that'll be like a last resort. Like, I'll get guys to use that when they're like really having a hard time putting on some muscle. But a lot of the times I will just say that, like, dude, it's the training and recovery, number 7. Like, dude, you need to recover. You need to focus on a growth phase. Like, you're trying to grow, you're trying to recover, you're trying to repair from training, because you're putting your body under a lot of stress. So when you're training first, and then I'll touch on recovery. When you're training, should I lift heavy? Should I lift higher volume, not as heavy? You need to have different phases set up. You need to see how your body responds to your training. You need to see if you feel really, really good on, low reps, high amount of weight, or if you feel really good on high reps, lower amount of weight. For example, I was doing very heavy training for a while, and I was like seeing some gains from it, plateaued, and I was like, fuck. And I looked at my numbers, then I was like, hey, talk to my coach, like, let's increase the frequency, the amount of volume. And now I'm responding really well. A lot of hypertrophy going on here. So especially on high carb days when I'm trying to grow, let's say I'm trying to work on my delts and my chest, then I'm going to make sure I'm eating more carbohydrates on that day, and it might do more drop sets, more supersets. So there's no perfect split. You just need to see how your body responds. And then recovery. Again, you need to recover, guys. I just ordered a new bed from Silk and Snow, I guess it's called, with Sammy, my fiance. This bed is like badass because I know I'm trying to focus on my recovery. Like really trying to focus on my sleep. I'm trying to keep a consistent sleep routine and schedule so that my body is primed for a certain bedtime, primed to get up. I'm sleeping, I'm recovering. And I know it sounds crazy, but it's like, I also said here, rest is a necessity, not a luxury. Like you need to treat your recovery and your rest as like this beautiful thing that's going to help you grow. Like after training, if you're feeling tired because you're training so hard and then you get a good meal in, like just try to eat the meal and just relax, bro. Just like put yourself into a mental state like, cortisol is going down because you're training and you're at high stress, right? Because your body's trying to adapt to the stimulus that you're putting on it. Just relax, kick your feet up, maybe just lay on the floor, maybe go for a little walk, listen to a podcast, relax. You need to focus on your recovery. Like this is huge. And for Tyler, we were having a hard time, dude, putting on muscle. We were having a hard time. We were like stuck. We were plateaued. And he gets in like a lot of steps per day. He works a hard labor job. So if he can do it, you can do it. And we were pushing food. And I was like, okay, we got to look at your routine for recovery. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, literally, we went down from 5 workouts to 4 workouts. And he started responding better. He needed a diet break to kind of resensitize him to eating a lot of food because he was having a hard time getting food down. So you need to look at that, your recovery, as something that is very special to you, right? It's very, very special to you. Ice baths, saunas, focus on that stuff. Get a masseuse, like literally invest into a good masseuse. I got Rain and I need to see him more often, but every time I see him, he's doing that deep tissue work on me, bro. I feel better. I feel like I can respond better to my training, my stimulus. Look at your body as a temple and treat rest and recovery as it's like, it should be number 1 on your as a priority for you to put on lean tissue, okay? 8, last one, appetite. Hard gainer, can't get food down. Now, I think there's what am I going to say? Putting on muscle, again, is hard, and you might be a hard gainer, but if you actually do everything what we talked about and do it right, you'll notice huge changes quite quickly, or at least that progression that you want. If you can't get food down, then you need to remember chewing food is going to create more of a satiety response in the body. If you can change it to like a huge gainer shake, that's where you're going to see, okay, I'm getting in almost 500, 600 calories in the shake. You're drinking it, it's digested a lot faster. You need to start thinking like that rather than shoveling food in all the time. So try spacing out your meals a little bit more. If you're trying to put on lean muscle and you're like, oh, dude, like, but you got work at 9 a.m., it's like, well, try to get in a good meal right before work and right before your training session. So now you have 2 meals down before you even go to work, and you have maybe 3 meals left for the rest of the day that you can space out. If you're eating all your meals right before bed, no wonder you're like stuffing your face. Then your sleep is probably impaired because you're eating so much food before bed. Your body temperature goes through the roof. You need to space out your meals. You need to look at your appetite as like a structured. You need to structure your appetite. You need to actually make sure you're eating enough food and spacing it out throughout the day. So yeah, when people say just eat more food, sometimes it's hard though, right? So anyways, I hope this really helps you guys out. That's it. I want to keep this short. I don't know what time I'm at, but you can do it, man. If I can do it, these guys that I've helped, you can do it. And you can follow me on Instagram to see more of this stuff. I post a lot of Instagram stories, talking just raw talk, seeing what I'm up to. And yeah, so hopefully this helps you out. And if it did, give a thumbs up, comment, and I'll see you guys around. If you want to join, subscribe too. Peace out, boys.